Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that little interruption. So let's pick up where I left off. Let me just get this. So we're just gonna get rid of these. Now, I was thinking about I'm gonna leave this here because what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to do these as like dimples. So what I will do is I will take this top half and I will do a 180-degree rotation with it or revolve and do a cutout with that. So it should look really nice. It'll print well then too, and leaving that line there makes it easier. Which actually, of course, now I gotta fix my mistake and add these lines back. So just add these back real quick. Oh, no. Oh yeah, if you're ever sketching, press and hold, and it will give it. Let me see. Try press and hold, and you can then choose between two lines that are overlapping. That's what I should really do. Oh, oh, there, that cuts the reference. There we go. Okay, then I left them there. That's good. Makes life easier. And I did notice I forgot the round right here, so we'll just make those round. But we were doing two or three, and three. So we'll do three again. Get those rounded out. Enter. And that should look really good for the grip. Now, we should that be? I'll cut in here, just double checking all my work so that I'm not getting anything amiss. Now, I will do this real quick so I have the reference for how thick this is. And we'll probably just do a revolve on this to make it easy, because then we'll already know what it is. And let me get this trigger real quick. Because as long as they're overlapping, you don't have to do separate images or sketches. But don't be afraid to use multiple sketches either, because the problem is you if you overlap too many sketches, then you tend to just make more work for yourself in the long run, because then you're trying to select the bodies or faces, I guess, profiles. Sorry, profiles, and it's just more work in a long time. So don't do overlapping sketches if you can avoid it. Like if you can divide it into two distinct areas, do that. But luckily, this one works pretty well. As I said, this model generally is pretty simple, so it's going pretty easy right now, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. Is it oh no, it's too big for four. So that looks nice, and we'll just give this a round two. Pull that out a little. So we'll just call it two. I don't know. I like whole numbers. This is a little dark, so I'm gonna have to guess a little bit where this is. Looks like it curves right about there. It's one trouble too with shadows, because it's just the image viewer. I couldn't really do anything. I mean, you can do it in photo mode. That's another way to do. Like if you see my Jedi Survivor gun, I pretty much did that all from photo mode, and that probably be somewhere where field of vision would definitely help a lot. The weird thing is field. I tried the field of vision, not so much the changing it through the INI for Starfield, which affects the in game, but it didn't affect the where you examine the weapons for some reason. So that must just be a hard set. And the trigger, I'll just make it up here, because I'm probably gonna have to do some stuff with the trigger later. I'll play it by ear with that one, but here I'll just this is just for reference right here. I'm just going to add a little bit. So this is just so I can revolve this, and then I'll just spread it out and just combine it afterwards. So this is more just for reference. That's not like I really need a division there at all. And the trigger, I'll just have it like this, because then I can always extend it out. Oh yeah, got to do the cutout. Let me get the cutout real quick. So do that. Just get down there. Sometimes I use the offset just because it's easier than trying to draw it again. Yeah, just offset 3. I might as well keep it consistent. Kind of makes it nice. And I'll just grab the top of the curve there. Or you know what? I'll use a 2-point curve. Well, no. I'll use a different one. So I'm not sure how much everybody's going to be, where their skill level is on sketching and things like that. So when I think something's interesting, I'll call it out. So like right now, this is a very useful one for circles. It's tangents. They're really nice if you need to figure out an area, but you don't want to redraw it or draw a lot of reference. So I'm just going to do a 3 tangent. So it's going to be this wall, and this wall. Look at that. Perfect. And now I can just go back and cut out the excess. And just cut out this side of the circle. Boom. Look at that. Nice cutout. Super easy, fast. It's one of those tools I really like. I probably should pin it, but you pin too much and then you don't know what you're working with. And I'm not much of a shortcut guy, so I'm sorry if anybody's like cringing at that, because I know I could potentially make my life a lot easier with shortcuts, but I have a terrible memory, and using it like this is good. Honestly, that's why I never got good at Blender, because Blender is a quagmire of shortcuts. It is not a very menu friendly program. Like I've tried like things like Maya in the past, and I actually like Maya. It's because you had a lot of menus and things like that. But that was probably about 20 years ago now. I tried that, maybe 15. But okay, so get an idea of this. So now moving on to the barrel. As I said, I'm going to work from the point where it kind of curves over. This is, yet again, this is a bit of a judgment call where I want it to be. So I'll just say about there, or probably be a good place, because it's rounded out. It looks like it's rounded over there. That's probably about where it's flat. As I said, we're not looking for absolute accuracy, because this is a virtual item anyway. So it's not like we're trying to match a film prop or something like that. We're making our own version of something that doesn't actually exist. And little play is all right. So I'm gonna have to guess on this stuff. Yeah, because yet again, it's the lens distortion creates an issue. Let me get to the back there, so we get an idea of how thick the ring is at the back. It's not very thick. Yeah, look at that one. That's pretty good. So as long as we can get that to look all right, we should be good. So we'll focus on doing the rings. I was thinking it'd be there's a right click. I was thinking it'd be fun to make these rings separate, so they still can rotate. So I'll make this into like a plug that plugs into there, and we'll print this separately. I'm thinking TPU, because I'm really been enjoying TPU for the squishiness. Like, it's not super squishy, but it still gives that kind of pseudo rubber feel to it. So let's get this about the top of this. So we know, like, the lens distortion really goes left to right. Top bottom doesn't do it too much, so we tend to the top and bottom surfaces tend to be pretty easy to use. Let's keep this consistent. So we'll measure the distance of that one. That's about that, and we will raise this about the same, and then get that over there. Actually, you know what I should be doing? Now, if you're ever work with a model like this, like if you ever do a model that's pretty uniform on both sides, like it's mirrored, any section that's mirrored, do save yourself a lot of hassle and just have it. Just work with half and mirror it. I mean, it's because you will cause so much grief to yourself if you try to duplicate everything you do, and there's no reason to do that. So what I do is I just found the center point of this line, cut it in half. So I'm just going to work the top half from now on. I should have been doing that from the beginning, but just got distracted on this one. So I'll just extend that out to basically infinity. And should I extend that just a smidge more? Yeah, like almost like about right there, I think. So look at that. Let's extend that. We'll extend this. And now let's try to guess on how much we should do that end so it looks all right. Now the other problem is the examine mode. You can't shift the weapon around, which would have been super nice. But the mass is always in the center. So let's just get the idea. So this is about, we'll just call it 2 meters. Because we want it to be a smidge thicker. So we'll just get out about 2 meters. We'll just go up from there. And just do it to about right there. Oh, didn't want to hit that. All right. So clean up our sketch a little bit. Make it oh. Yeah, that's oop. Sorry, I'm going in a weird place here. All right, so that would basically it. These circles will add, or well, the grips, I should say, we'll add those on later. And as you can see, it's going to be a lot shorter than originally. And that's because of the lens distortion. Basically, lens distortion gets worse. It'll be straight up and down here, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse as you go out. That's normal. I mean, we're all used to seeing it like that. So basically, we're just playing it by trying to undo that distortion, is what we're basically trying to do. And it's just trying to get the look so it looks fun. And let me get this back here. Let's just extend this line up because we've decided that's the end of there. Extend that up. Nope. Nope. As you can see, I love extend. It's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite sketch commands. I did not know about it for the longest time, and then once I found it out, I was like, it's just wonderful because it just makes it so easy to have 2 lines join like this. Now the trouble is what you were seeing was it was basically trying to guess like every single line down here that you could potentially join with until it got over there. So it's not always perfect, but hey, it saves a lot of heartache. All right, so these will just get rotated, make it super duper easy. And okay, let's get the main barrel here. The main barrel should be, let me just double check since I've been messing around. Oh. Let's get a nice angle one. All right, so the barrel is pretty much flush. There's like a rounded edge, it looks like where they meet, they're rounded over, but it's still flush with this white barrel. So yet again, we'll just extend this out. Let's get an idea how much we did this. So we did this about I'll just say about that from where we thought the end would be, and we'll just duplicate that over here. So about this. Oof. Yeah, so it's about the curve. So we'll make that about the same. Now this front's going to be a little bit interesting because this is going to be like way overhung, just like this is getting overhung. We'll just we'll guesstimate again on that one. Cross that bridge when we get to it. let's extend the center we're using. Clean that up because we don't need that anymore. And we'll, right, this is nice because I can just use the center of these, so because that should be where those are. Come on. And this one I will probably just hit the wrong button. I'll just use a pattern for this one so that the ring's the same. And this one I'm going to have rotating as well. So yet again, I'll probably have a smaller ring inside of here, and I'll print these as two separate sections that piece together, I think. Or maybe I'll have a tube that slides in, because I want to print this as one. Yeah, so maybe I'll have a tube that slides in, because this ring rotates as well. So it'd be, I don't know, it's just fun. It would be fun, a little thing to have it rotate, because anything you can play with is always better than nothing. So let's get over here. Yeah, get into. I wish I could default that. All right, so we'll just drop it right there and there. So that will be that, and now we'll get the height on here. Is that really where that is? Oh, you know what? I did this wrong. Did I? No, I didn't do this wrong. I did this one wrong. You know, lens distortion, it messes with you. So I'll push this back because these need to be pushed back to the top. Yep, that's on me. So I'll just select these lines and we'll just move them to about right there. Yeah, so that should be pretty good. And then we'll get this height in. And I'm not going to draw this chamfer right here. I'll just make the chamfer an actual model, because that definitely be a spot that it'd work better if I didn't do that chamfer in the sketch, because it'll give me more flexibility later. All right, so knock that out there. So that'll be ring. This is this ring any higher? Let's check the 3D, because this is why we do 3D, because it's, yeah. So it looks like pretty much those rings are the same, but it looks like they're chamfered there as well. So we'll just make that separate. Yeah, so probably what we'll do is we'll probably print these separate color and then have the ring as its own. These will slip onto the ring, and then that will be its own ring that turns. If I'm sorry, I said that kind of weird, but basically it will be one solid piece altogether. All right, so that's the end of the gun, and those should rotate nice. So let's finish this up right here. Now the barrel itself, the end of the barrel, let's look. So it's got this little rounded part here. So this we're gonna have to guess on. And it looks like the curve starts around where those start. So that makes life easier on that regard. And let me remember what this was. So I had this, well, had this about 4. So as it gets smaller, so we'll just do this about, don't have a reference there, but actually it's about what, 3, maybe 3.5. We'll call it 3.5 since it's a little bit of a move. We'll make that the end of this. So I'll just go down there. So we'll just call that the lens distortion there. And is that enough? You know, I think I'm just going to make this barrel longer. Nobody's going to notice the barrel's a little longer. It'll make it a little easier when we're doing it. So I'll just make that another. I'll make it like halfway, because that'll give us a little more play. Oops. So one thing I don't like about Fusion, if you click off of something, it forgets the reference you're using for the movement, like this value. It resets it, and that's really super annoying. All right, so we made a smidge longer. It'll make it easier when we're drawing this, but we'll still have that curve, I think. All right, so let's see, the curve be about right here, so we'll just use that as reference. And this one I will make a construction line, like I was saying. So that'd be a nice construction line. And we will get the bottom. Ooh, I did not make that very straight. Oh well. So let's get it right there. Yeah, it's hard to get these nice and straight because for some reason that editor, in the model viewer, you can't straighten out. You just kind of have to play with it till it looked okay. I'm kind of looking forward to when the mod tools get to the point that we can extract meshes. Because from what I looked, it's different than like Fallout 4 and things like that, where they had one format that had the meshes integrate with it into kind of a container format. And it seems now they have them separated with references in that same container format. But looks like people a lot smarter than me are trying to figure out ways to make a viewer so they can see everything. And I will patiently await their work because they are this real superheroes when it comes to this kind of stuff. All right, so let's see, what is this curve here? So we got the graphic there. It comes down to about there. All right, so we'll just use that as where the curve ends. But the curve we'll start the curve about that point we're talking about. So let's get the circle so that we have the reference. And this will be, we'll just do a 3-point circle because 3-point circles are really nice when I don't know where the center is. I don't want to guess where the center is. So it's nice because I'll just be like, well, that's an outside of the circle, and this outside, and I normally I would try a 90-degree, but I'll just be like, yeah, it's a circle. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Another really, really nice, useful tool that just comes from practice. You start finding the stuff that works better for you as you do more and more. Yeah, it looks all right. And now we're going to, let me remind myself. Oh, we'll just do this. And has to the bottom of that. So just use center point to get a 90 degree over to this. We'll cut that because we don't need that anymore. And so that comes straight to the end and goes down to that reference line. There we go. And then we will make a curve, 3-point arc. Now with 3-point arcs, you can decide which one's going to be the straighter if you hover the cursor closer. So if I'm like, I want this one to be straighter, like the transition from here is straighter, and then it just kind of predicts it. But for this one, this is the straight line I care about. And this just transitions to here, so I'll hover the mouse up there, and you see where it makes a nice smooth transition right into there. And I'll cut that because I don't need that anymore. I could have left that as an instruction if I wanted to have a reference for myself, but I'm super bad about that stuff. Oh, here we go. Here's a problem. Let me just get this right here. So we'll measure that. That's what barrel's going to be. So let's get ourselves a nice reference down here so we get an idea for the barrel. All right, so it looks like the barrel, yeah, because this will be the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, it will intersect with this, which is what we want because this is thicker than the circle will be. So I'm not, in the long run, this doesn't actually matter as much. So these are just going to merge into each other. So I actually didn't even need that. Let me just get rid of that. So I'm just going to pick an arbitrary height. Some arbitrary height when we'll merge it. So we'll just grab this over, grab it over, boom. Actually, that's a bad one. Tell you, I'm not an expert. I'm not trying to be an expert here. I'm just trying to share what I do. So now let's get this. This we got the reference here. So this we know this will be the straight part at the base here. So we'll just use, oh, and I'm wanting straight. So do straight, straight, and we'll make this roughly, I don't know how rough. We'll make it 6. Yeah, 6 sounds good. Get rid of that, and we will extend this all the way up. Now it looks like it curves in with that, so we'll have to cut that later. And that's what the front reference, the front profile's for, so we can figure out what that bend will be like. I'll just cut this like the same size for now. And okay, with the bottom of this, we'll just call it right about here. Extend, 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 extend. And then we will cut this, and now we will just do another rectangular pattern. Now I probably could cut and paste this, but the cut and pasting always feels so sloppy in sketches. In fact, moving lines period always feels a bit sloppy. That's one thing I really don't like to do. I don't understand why it just doesn't work very well. So I avoid moving as much as I can. I'd rather just redraw if I have to. And these are extended back, so we're not actually going to sketch that. All right, so let me just get these weird little details real quick. And offset should be the same on that one. All right, and we'll make the end about right there. Actually, I should do this so I know what the 90-degree is. There we go. All right, now just round it off. Does 2 look okay? Yeah, let's try 3. Nope, 3 overlaps. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so we'll extend this up, and just using this just to be a quick reference for myself. There we go. Okay. So it's roughly all right, but it's one of those ones we'll just call it fine because to do it better really wouldn't be worth it. Now this actually make contact. I can't tell if it's overlapping or not. The bottom one's not. Okay, there we go. All right, so I can get rid of that reference. All right, as I said, I don't like moving, but I'm going to move this one. I'm going to copy and paste it. Now I'll show you the weirdness of it. Because normally with the body, it can be like, oh, I just want to, move this. And there, it messes it up. Because usually the body, you could select a point like this and be like, okay, this is going to be the reference that will do. Oh wait, that was me messing up. It works okay, but then if I were to click on this line, it wouldn't use this line as what to snap to. It immediately changes that to what I'm selecting. It's so frustrating. So I'm just going to get a little hacky with this and just do a measurement real quick. So I'll just measure from this point, this line, copy that. And then, so I know I am moving over that far. All right, so that worked okay. Let's cut these up. Oh, we want to keep these separate actually, because they're lower than the other one. So, but let's see if the overlapping. It looks like they just overlap. But I probably should do these as separate bodies and then combine them, because that's not going to look good if I try to extrude it as. It might look okay. We'll try it as one. Let's just try it with one because that'll save us an extra step if we do it like that. So we'll just cut. All right. So now that's just one. And these are just graphics. We'll worry about those graphics later. Do that cutout. Ooh, that gives us another cool, fun tool. So this is another fun tool where we will use the slot cutter. Slot cutter is pretty cool, and because you can do a couple different ones where you can do the overall slot, which I think I'm going to do. Center is pretty nice if you already have it somewhat sketched out, but I'm just going to, because since I'm kind of guessing this, I'll just do it from the edges there. And which is what's 2? Yeah, 2. It looks okay. There we go. Because normally, if you were to do this otherwise, you just do a circle, find the tops. So this saves you a lot of time from what you would do if you had to do a lot of cutting and things like that. And that'll just revolve as well. Bring up to the surface and just cut it out afterwards. And boy, the detail of this really got kind of crushed out, didn't it? But looks like they're just lines on top of it. So we're just gonna have to kind of guess that, but we'll guess it from the center. We can just work backwards. So let's offset this line, and we'll so 0.3, yeah. So it'll be about 0.6 total wide. I'll just make another offset. We're going to break this reference right away, so I'm just using this so it just makes it easier. So watch the minute and there, that destroys the reference. Actually, I should just cut that. That'd work better. All right. Actually, let me hold that off. off. Then we'll just do a pattern for this one. All right, just give myself an idea of where these go. So what, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, I did the wrong one. There we go. So it's supposed to be yeah, so there's 3 above it. So I give myself an idea. Sorry, I wish the details didn't get so crushed. Makes it a little harder to figure out, but yeah, so just get those light gray in the middle there. And that looks fine enough. We'll just, yeah, I think that should look all right. All right, and then we just do symmetric. So we actually got to increase that to 8. Wait. Oh, it counts as center, so it needs to be 9 instead. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's not what we need. We just want 3. So 1, 2. You know, I probably should. I'm hurting myself here. All right, there we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, because we only want 3. All right, so get back to where we wanted it. There we go. So let's just extend these out. All right, so that's going to be the grip on the button. Now, is there any other details I'm missing at the moment? Don't think so. Just about. Actually, I'm probably gonna. I will make this split so that makes it a little easier for the transition. So we'll extrude these separately. And so we got the handle, got that. We should be good. I'm going to do the radiator separately. All right. So sketch good enough for the moment. Let's start extruding. So we'll just start with the grip because that's going to be the simplest. And we'll go to the back sketch to get an idea of how thick the handle is. Now this is at the closest point. So it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's good enough. So we'll just make it about 15. As you see, I'm only doing half. I'm gonna mirror it afterwards. All right, so did that. Okay, let's get this top half. Now I want to grab these because I'm going to cut these out after the fact, and these two. These I'm going to have to run through holes because it's just easier for the screws. All right, so pull this out, get an idea again. And it should be this right here. That's what we're looking for. Get that kind of aligned with that. Let's call it 18.2. Yeah. All right. So as you can see there, it's lifted out. Should look okay. And, oh, whoops, I messed that up. Let me just fix that real quick. I want to keep them separate for the time being. I mean, actually, it probably wouldn't hurt there, but I tend to keep these separate just in case I need to modify anything before I actually do it. So what I'm going to do eventually is I merge these two, and then this I would chamfer, and then round the ends of the chamfer with a fillet to. All right. So let's now we do the revolve. So we'll do our revolve right here because we want it to be a separate body along this axis. New body. All right, and we'll do another revolve. Here, axis. I'm not doing these all the same because I want them separate bodies. Just because it makes it easier if we need to change anything. These two I can do just fine since they're not actually touching. And let's revolve this. Body. All right, miss anything on there? Nope, that looks all right for the time being. All right, so let's get this. Now, this I kind of made a pain in the bum for myself because of all these, but I'm just going to do these all separately from each other since they're all going to combine anyway. So I've got from the front here, goes that about right there, new body. Let's say about 6.5. That should be good. Now I did change this one option. There's one option in the settings where you can say don't hide the sketches. Normal operating for Fusion is when the minute you do extrude your first extrude on a sketch, it hides it. I don't like that because I usually have more than one extrude, so I turn that off. And you can turn that off if you like. It's just a preference thing. Just let me double check. Yeah, so that's the base of the button. So just make it about right. 20 too much? Yeah, 20 too much. We'll do 19.5. All right, so, and now I extrude all of these to the same height as this. New bodies. All right, so this is the ring of the button. Button itself, so I'm just going to select all of these and then I'll add them afterwards. Oh no, I didn't extend that enough. So that might actually hurt me. We'll see. Alright, so I'll just do that right there. 22.5, 6. Yeah, I'll make 6. Want a little height to it. All right, let me try adding that sketch so I can figure out what went wrong there. It's just I didn't extend this one enough. Now, will that break my sketch? No, done. Nice. All right. Yep, get these. These are higher, so I just gotta make sure we get those. Oh, I forgot to cut that. Anybody? All right, so I'm guessing this part is that. Yeah. I just looked at the 3D one. Oh, it's a slight angle. Interesting. So if I want that to look nicer, I'll probably have to just do a quick slice of those. Now is the doesn't look like the main thing's at an angle, but that's definitely at an angle because it's on. I can see it on both sides of here. All right. Did not notice that at first. Oh wait. Oh yeah, because it's at an angle. Okay, okay. So once I slice that down, it will be smaller than that because it needs to be shorter than that. Okay, that's not right. Okay, you know, it's probably lens distortion causing those issues. So probably the bump at the bottom there is about equal. Yeah, lens distortion, that's from the bottom. No, even then it's not... Okay, this is a judgment call. That's definitely not sticking out far enough either. Though that's probably because did I do the bottom wrong? Oh wow. So this might be a sketching issue for me. Where I may have not scaled the bottom entirely right. I didn't like the bottom profile that I originally had anyway. So I'm going to ignore this one because getting the scaling was kind of weird, and I wanted mainly just to get references for this little cutout here. So let's get rid of that canvas for now because it's kind of distracting. And we'll work from there. So you know what it is. I did this. This one's not right. Just pull that out. That's the nice thing about having history. So I'll have to do it again. 6. All right. So that looks a lot better. Can't remember what I was basing that on. Just, you know, temporarily drunk, I guess. All right, so we'll probably for this I'll just do a sketch real quick and get that when I get to that part. And okay, so I extruded all that stuff and it's looking pretty good. So let's make a component so it'll be a lot easier for us. So I'm just gonna make this the I'm gonna work from this as a component. So body 3, we'll have that as barrel for now. on that. Just we'll start adding these to that so that we can work with it separate. Let's actually just hide all these for now, so we don't even accidentally do anything with them. All right, I'm gonna hide the sketch too. All right, now I'll just hide that barrel. All right, so let's just gain that. Let's get this looking pretty good. So going by, do we have a good angle here? So we'll just use that as a reference for how much of a fillet we add. Let's do this, and sorry, I didn't exactly plan all this very well, so I'm just going to make it curve directly to that. So we'll just let's measure the height difference. We'll use that as our reference. So that's another reason to keep these separate, is that can cause issues if you do this. Sometimes it's trying to round off the corner when it's the same body. So it's just caught this cuts down on it. So we'll just do 3.2. That should look pretty good. Actually, that looks a little extreme, doesn't it? Oh, you know why? That rounding stops there. Okay. So we can fix that. So if you ever work with this, this is when you want to turn off tangent chain, because that'll save you a lot of issues. So for that, we'll do the 3.2. Now, it doesn't like it, but we'll make it like it. All right, so let's just try 0.2 on this. Nope. Nope. So it doesn't like transitioning there. All right, so we might have to get messy with it. Which I mean by, if we do, let's try this real quick. This is a time where you just kind of have to play. Oh, I hit the wrong buttons. All right, so what if we do this and then we round it around it like. This will look fine, but what if we hopefully applied the 3 here then? Yeah, so that should look pretty good if we do it like that. And then we'll round that after the fact. Because it should look like this. So if I do like, sorry, a 1. Yeah. Now, you can see it really well here, but once you actually get the model in, nobody's going to notice that. Like, it's going to look pretty smooth once it prints and all that. So that's one of those sins that we can live with. And we got that all nice and rounded. I think that looks pretty good to it. Yeah, let's see if we got another angle. Yeah, and it. So it rounds. Yeah, and you can see it just stops and it goes to a slightly less fillet. So we'll have to play with what looks good there, because it's pretty it's pretty straight, but it does have a little bit. So let's get this sorted out real quick. so we can, let's combine these bodies now. And then we will expect this for reference. So it's 3.2, copy that. And then we will chamfer. Now we want to do 2 distance chamfer. So I'll spread that out and get that one exactly at 3.2. The chamfer needs to go so looks like it has a bit. You know, actually I probably need that bottom one again here just to help me. Just get that for an idea. Alright, so we'll make that 13.5. Yeah, that should look pretty good. Alright, and just to smooth it out, we'll just round both of those. And I'll make it more extreme. Let's try 20. Yeah, let's try 15. 10. Yeah, make it 20 because we want a nice smooth transition. All right, so the fillet on the grip looks like it has more of a fillet than this does. So that's gonna be another interesting one that we're gonna have to get a little hacky on. So let's just get this going real quick. Now I'm just going to delete these. Oh. So I'm just pushing delete to get rid of this curve. And because the geometry isn't that complex, it's not that big of a deal. So now is that on both sides? Yeah, it looks like it's about the same on both sides. Alright, so we'll use this as reference. Yeah, you can see that's much wider. So it's good we just ignored it. Yeah, so we'll make that 3 for that part. And then let's just round these back out too. We'll make these 3. Alright, so that should look alright. Let's get an idea what would probably look good. Does 1 look okay? Yeah, one should look good. Because you gotta remember, most 3D printers use 0.4 millimeter nozzles, so you don't want to go below 0.4. 1's usually, I find, works pretty darn well for most anything. Just because it's roughly twice, and the slicers seem to work all right with it. All right, so we'll get those rounded out. Yeah, that should look pretty good. Let's I forgot to cut these parts. Oh darn. So let's do a separate sketch for that. Let's pull the sketch back up. And we'll do a revolve real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah. Revolve, do a revolve on that by here. And we want to do 180. Yeah, we'll just do what, negative 90 actually. So we'll do a negative 90. That looks all right since it's supposed to be equal at that. Looks like. I guess that's not gonna be okay now I'm thinking about it. So let's do this. We'll grab the sketch. We'll extrude this out to about this height. I'll do that. Alright, so what we will do is, let me hide this real quick. Oh. Yeah, I forgot to hit OK. Alright, so let's get this back out here again. Make that new. Hide this body. And what we will do is we'll just do let's try a rounded loft. See if that works pretty well. We want the round outwards. I could do a guide, but honestly, it'd probably be easier if I just did this. So I was just trying to be clever, but yeah, clever's not working. So just see it. Boy, I can't see anything with these canvases. Yeah, just get rid of these real quick. Alright, so we want let's have that be that. Now be it. So I'll just get that. Use this. Oh. Use this sketch and just get this out. So it's not actually going to be circular, but it should match the character of what it's going for. And when you're doing props, that's pretty much the most important part, is getting the character. So I'll just combine those in, and bingo bango. Alright, so I got that there. So yeah, so it's just rounding over. So it should look all right. All right. Oh, that did mess up my hole though. So quick and dirty trick. Delete. Just make sure you delete all the faces that you want to include with that delete, because you delete one, you'll get unpredictable results. But because I selected like more than half of them, it worked really well. It's just something you get from practice. All right, now for the trigger, I'm gonna have to guess this because I don't really have any references. So it's gonna be judgment. So I will say I'll do it to about, because I can't, want to have a good space here. It's probably gonna be about 3 or 4 millimeters, probably. Yeah, let's get an idea what will look good. It's a pretty thick trigger, so it shouldn't matter that much. Let me see if I got a better angle. Yeah, let's just call it 9.5. Nobody's going to be checking that one exactly. Okay, and we will get this to be, we'll do about half, so it'd be, what, 425? Ugh, no, yeah, let's do more than that. Let's just do 2 mil. Oh, oops, that was not what I want to happen. So let's try -2. Yeah, -2 should look good. So let's do -2 millimeters. Yeah, let's try another millimeter. Oh. Yeah, that should look a lot better. All right, and for this, the front of it. Okay, it looks like the trigger, the actual pad area that your finger grips, is more rounded over. So this is another reason you probably shouldn't round off ahead of time. I just got kind of cocky with it, so I'll just get rid of that, so we can fix our mistake there. And let's round this over to a good degree because we want it nice and round so it feels good on the finger. So we'll do 3 since we're doing 3 for everything. Yep, and then does 1 look reasonable? Yeah, I think 1 looks reasonable. Alright, so we'll just oh, you know what? Combine those real quick first so I get more predictable results. Okay, 1 for that. 1 for that. Another 1. All right. So what I was saying is I can extend that out and when I want to figure out the mechanicals. But for now, it looks good. Now, if you ever want to just make it a little easier for yourself, you can always do this too. If you ever, I don't know if you ever played around with appearances, but they're pretty nice if you want to try to get an eye. Whoops. Yeah, let me click on the body. Pretty nice if you want just to differentiate things. So why don't I try? Trying to think of what would be a good material for this because we want it to be a little rough. Because it's kind of pitted. I can't think of anything pitted. Do you have a... Ooh, powder coat. Yeah, powder coat will work. So let's just apply a red powder coat to this. Oh, we got to download it first. All right, so yeah, there we go. That looks pretty. And you know, just for reference wise, that should look pretty good. It'll help keep us straight. So I'll just grab powder coat white, drop it here. And that should help keep it separated so that we will know visually to what we're working on. All right, so that's the trigger. Let's work on the screw. So I forget what we got. So it's 4mm screw. We're gonna do what trying to remember the term for it. What am I looking for? M4 screw. It's like a pan head. Is it pan head? No, it's not a pan head. It's a yeah, socket head. Okay, yeah, we want a socket head because it looks the most like it. So we want socket head dimensions. And I am... What's the common depth for a socket head? Alright, so I found a nifty chart that has it. So let's just figure out what it is. So we want H for 4. So it looks like it's about 4mm usually deep for the head height. Alright, so that's just useful for when we're doing this because we want these to be flush. So let's extrude these real quick, so we know how deep the screw heads will be. So we'll do that. Two-side it. Do it from this. Hit here, and now I want to just subtract 4 real quick. And cut. All right. So now, so that works well for now. The pen heads will be flush, or socket heads. Sorry, a little parched. Okay. So let's get the canvases back so we can do the grips real quick. So I'm going to get rid of that sketch since we don't need that at the moment, because these are completely different. And now I'm making like I make everything 90 degrees, even though it may not be 100% 90 degrees the way I cut it, just because uniformity looks better usually, and it makes it a little easier on you yourself. But that's not that. Now these I'm going to all make uniform, so I'm just doing this as one big blob right now. Okay, that's a blob, and we'll just get one of these, and now I'll just do the pattern actually, because with pattern I can select a direction and I can just have it go by that direction, so it's less in the place. I mean, you could do an offset and it'd work fine. It just might be more work. Why? Okay, why is that not done? Don't ask me why one of these works and the other doesn't. Oh, you know what I did? Should have did offset for this on actually. So -0.6. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this look all nice. Because I'm sure, believe me, when I was first starting, a lot of this was just so much trial and error. I usually suggest when you do something like this, just sit down and just look at it. Look at it from every angle and try to plan out your approach ahead of time, because that can save you some time. And obviously, plans change, but if you really think about it ahead of time, should save you some work and give you some idea of pitfalls. Alright, so got this. We'll cut these in separate bodies now. And now let's fillet them. Looks like these are all going to be really different angles. No consistency. Now, is that more of a top right grip? Is that a chafer and a groove? Yeah, so it looks like it's a bit of groove. So why don't we do a bit of a groove here? Oh no, that's the wrong tool. Yeah, that should look nice. Get that. Now, yet again, I was thinking about TPU for here. I don't have any like tan TPU, so I might just have to figure something out. But any as I said, nice thing about TPU is it does feel really nice for grips and things like that. Now the downside is you cannot paint it at all. Paint does not stick to it. So it's one of those things you need to make the choice yourself if you want it to feel nice or if you just want to be able to paint it. That's the nice thing about 3D printing, We can, everybody can approach a problem differently. 6. Why did I do that at 2? Will that be the same? No. Every one of these is just a smidge different. Now it could be the lens doing some changes, but this would be one of those areas that nobody would notice the difference if they don't exactly match to each other. Alright. Why are these not complete? What's going on? Oh, the body. Body's in the way. I was fighting the body the whole time. Alright, let's now this is another important tool, the project. So I got this sketch. This is separate of this sketch, but I want to know this information for reference reasons. I'll do a project. So that will bring, basically projects this line onto this sketch. So then I will have it to reference. I'm mostly just looking for the curve. Alright, and so now I can hide that sketch again. So let's do an offset of it. And I'll just do about, let's do 0.2 millimeters. And 2 millimeters should print just fine. That's the other thing is I would pay attention to when you're doing things is, it's nice to be 100% accurate as much as you can, but also think about printability. Like you don't want to have something that's not realistically printable that's too thin. But 2 millimeters more than fine. As I said, I I would never go more. I would never go less than a millimeter for anything. See, what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking these are actually rounded over, and I think the angle's really screwing this up. Like, it looks almost chamfered here, but I don't think it's chamfered. Let's see. Okay, so this is better. Okay, there is some chamfering going on, but we'll apply that after the fact. Yeah, so we'll make these all straight, and then we'll chamfer it once we extrude it. Whoop. Undo that. Okay. So and these will make a little thicker just to you know make inset them a bit, but yeah, that should work for now. Now, yet again, we'll use this as reference for how thick we need to make these. Let's make sure I'm doing it to the right side. Yeah, so I want to do it to the right. Oh. So what if we did a meter? Nope. Let's make it 2 meters. Yeah, 2 meters should look really good sticking out from there. So let's make this two-sided. And we'll just bring that up to, I don't know, about, yeah, so that'd be about 3 millimeters thick. So it'll have a millimeter inset into it. And we'll have to put some tolerances into them, into the holes once we cut them. Like we'll just use a cut with that. All right, so the grips, we'll make the grip equal with the trigger, I think. Yeah, yeah, we'll make it even with the trigger. So just put it right there, and new body. All right. Hey, a default color actually doesn't look bad with the white. I mean, it should be a little more tan, but it actually kind of works out by itself. All right, so now we're going to run around these corners off first before we chamfer it, because it'll make it a lot easier, because then the chamfer will go along with it. And we'll just make that, what, 2? Does 2 look okay? Yeah, let's try 1. See what 1 looks like. Yeah, I think 1 looks a little closer to what we're looking for. And let's chamfer it the whole way. So these were 2 millimeters, so we'll chamfer it. We'll give it a 2 millimeter chamfer. We want equal distance for this one. Oh, it does not like that. Interesting. Yeah, because it comes to like a point there, it looks like. Okay, let's try this the opposite way then. let's chamfer it, then we'll round it. Maybe that'll work out better. So as I said, this is more art. Yeah, that almost seems a little too extreme. Let's make that a 2 distance then. Yeah, I'll make it 2 by 1. 0.5. Yeah, I'll just do 0.5. All right. So it looks okay. So let's apply it to this while we're at it. Save ourselves trying to re-enter the values. Oh, you know what it's doing? It's reversing it. Shoot. All right, just remind myself real quick. Yeah, it's half. I'll just repeat it real quick. All right, we'll just round these two so that they feel better. And these just purely rounded. I don't see any chafering on them at all. I mean, I probably could have got away with just rounding these, but it's here or there. Okay. So that should look, that's looking pretty good. All right, so now we got to do these cutouts real quick while we're at it. Just go to the bottom. All right. Spread that out. All right, it's down to here. And there's this. Okay, so spread that down, spread this down, spread that down. All right. Forgot to make a center point. Okay, round that off for 2. 2 look okay here? No. Do less of a round there. All right, so 1. Do more of a rounding right here. Yeah, when you see a little more of a less sharp angle here, then the fillets tend not to be as extreme, so you tend to have to do more. All right, so let's cut this hole out. So this is gonna be an interesting one. I might try the emboss. We'll see how that works out. Since they just made emboss work with complex surfaces, maybe it'll work. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to test this one. Oh shoot, I hadn't had a chance to really test it. So we'll be learning together. Get out here. All right. So let's try the emboss tool. Emboss tool usually, well, it used to only work really well on flat surfaces, but they did recently update it. So we'll do a deboss. Let's see what happens. So if we oh, it's not letting me pick face or okay. Let's try. Hey, look at that. That worked a lot better than it used to. We'll only make that one. You know what? It doesn't match, but the lens distortion was screwing up it anyway. So in a weird way, it actually did kind of make it work. That's funny as it sounds. Actually, this should be a little further over. Looking at this, oh, I'm sorry. This bottom picture was not good. So let's try this. This might work. The push pull tool sometimes works really nice for. Oh, yeah, change to fill. Okay, sometimes works well for this. So let's try this out. So if we yeah, look at that. All right, so looks like that should be in line with that part right where the curve stops. So we'll just make it even there. There we go. All right, so it looks like this comes to the end of the curve, so it should be about right there. Let's try it again. I mean, it's kind of sloppy me doing it like this, but hey, you know, sometimes slop works out. Oh, look at that. You know what? It's a square, so we can cut that out ourselves. It's not like we really need a sketch for that. Let me get rid of the bottom one. So I will make this about all right. So I'm just doing a rough one right now because I'll adjust it. Actually, I'll make this flush with this and redo our origin again because when you do that, it resets the numbers, which is pretty nice. So we'll just try a -2 to get a rough idea. And yeah, -2 seems like, yeah, we'll do 0.5. Yeah, that should be all right. But I'll just lower this down, and then I will extend this up to that because we'll just cut it into there since it seems to be right where the curve is, where it cuts out. So we'll just call it right there where the curve ends, or well, where the secondary, the fillet begins. And I don't know, it's probably about 4 millimeters mean. So yeah, let's try 6. So we might actually have to extend that looking at this picture. Like, I think I like where this is, so I'll have to make that about the same. So let's just take a look at this. Yeah, so these, we'll just push these out. So it roughly looks pretty good with it. Now, the advantage of the abats is that it follows the surface. Now, there's other ways to accomplish that curve, but the abats works pretty well for it. So if you can use it, use it. Alright, so looking at this, it should be slightly bigger. The top of this curve. Yeah, that should look good. I mean, this is basically just flavoring, so if it's not perfect, it won't matter. It's just a decorative detail. All right, so that looks pretty good. We'll just cut that out. There we go. All right, so that was the big details, I think. And they're supposed to be it's like a screw hole right there. We'll make that, yeah, again, we'll make that 7mm, even though it's like a very different one. But so we'll just do a quick sketch over there. From the center. Find the center of the line. 7mm. 4mm. Four. I don't know, it's a good length. I'll just make it 10. Alright. It's one keyboard shortcut I do like, is if you just select something, you hit V, that changes the visibility. So that's about the only one I remember using a lot. All right, so we got that. Oh, shoot. Look, there's an inset right there. I forgot about that one. That's going to make it really thin. It's an interesting detail. Oh, look, it wraps all the way up there. I just hope it doesn't make too thin for printing. So we take another, it'll be 3mm. It should fare okay with printing. So, so we'll make it the same distance as this, which is 4, 6. All right. This is not going to be a fun one to do. Oh, yeah, because you can see it wraps all the way back to about there. So we're going to have to get all the... Gotta love working with curves. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll just do this one real quick. Let's get rid of the part. Get rid of that part too. Actually, I need to project. So let's just project this line so we have a reference to work with. Boom, boom. So now we got references. Okay, we got that. And all right, right up to the, we'll just make it straight up to the curve. Straight up to the curve. Did need that other reference though, I forgot to get. So project. Just do it all the way down to there so we can do the emboss. Because we'll just do the emboss right here and it'll just like push it over the whole way. So if I were to, extend this right now, so I extend, so it'll work out. I'll show you in a second. Let me just make this line over here. And now we round it over. Just make that a 0.5. Yeah, I'll make it 2. Be nice and visible so it isn't lost in translation. All right, so let's try. So we'll just do emboss on this. Oh, nope. All right, let's back at it. I just undid that. That's what I was doing. So I wanted to get back to the sketch real quick. All right, so let's select the faces. Hold Control so you can select multiple. And, it's interesting it didn't wrap it on there, but we can work with that. All right, so cut that, and let's work with this one. So we just want to do the same thing, but in reverse. So project that. This gives us an idea how far over it is. All the way to there. All right. So then we will. Oh yeah, another important thing, if you are going 3-dimensional with your sketches like this, look at. Gets you back to where you were. Because when your sketch isn't on the standard XYZ planes, it can be, the view cube doesn't help you, but look at will. So let's get the distance again. So and down we go for that. Round it over again at, oh no, that's one thing when you project a line, you can't it won't interact with the fillets, so you do have to redo it. So sometimes it makes it easier just to immediately turn them into construction lines, because they're kind of a dual thing where they will exist as both something that you can use for construction. Oh shoot, how far did I do this one? Oh, because of the curve out. But the curve out doesn't work for that one. Okay, well, I'll fix it. It's easy to fix. All right, so body emboss. Get that, and now let's get our surfaces. All right, yet again, does not like that curve. All right, so now we're going to have to fix it. Let's hide these sketches we don't need anymore. All right, so push-pull tool again. It's your friend. I mean, ideally, we should be modifying the sketch, but I didn't know what this distance would be. All right, so let's try a loft. We'll see if a loft works on this one. It might. So what we need is, let's try a guide rail. And it will not let me select that as a guide rail. Darn. That's what happens if I curvature it. No, calculation issues. I got a sloppy solution, but I don't want to do it if I don't have to. Trying to think of an elegant way to do this. I mean, we can always try push-pull. No. I'm going to say sometimes that works for the calculations, but it isn't right now. We could try delete. No, because sometimes Fusion could do the math for you. So what I was saying, the sloppier way we can do is we can just do a split body. So I can do a split body right here. And so if I were to do that, no, oh no, that's not what I want. So what happens if I just do a push on this? Nope, that didn't work either. You know, it's one of those situations that I know the solution should be easy, but it's just not coming to me. Sorry about this. Wait, what's going on? Why should I have done the whole thing? I mean, this is... oh, look at that. That's an issue. It does that sometimes. Even though I use that as a reference, it... when I did this push operation, I used this as a reference. So this should be at the exact, same. Like there should be no distance difference between these two. But it's not working. Well, let me try this. So I'll just do a box. Let's try just another emboss to see what happens with that. Oh, but it has to be a sketch. So hacky methods to the rescue. Hopefully. There we go, hacky methods. Nope. Why to do that? Move that. Alright, so let's try just deleting that little segment. There we go. Okay. That cleaned it up. It's hacky as heck, but it works. Alright, so let's double check it to the reference. So you see that's what I was trying to go for. So we got that from there. A little bigger than this is a little bigger than I want, but yeah, it looks fine. It's just a flavoring. That's all it is. So let's just double check the thickness. I said it was gonna be about 3 with 4.9. Yeah, that's more than enough thickness. That's not gonna be an issue at all. And let's just round it out real quick now that we got it finalized and we think it looks pretty good. Is there a calculation error? No, there is, isn't there? Shoot. Oh, you know what it is? It's because it's intersecting with this. It can't do the math for that. You'll see that a lot. When you get really close to something like that, it will cause issues. So let me just pull that down a smidge. So how far? Because you'll get these, you'll get these, and you'll be like, why the heck does it happen? And it's one of those things you'll just realize it with time what the issue is. So I'm just going to pull it down by 0.6 so I can round it to. Nope, that doesn't work. Yeah, let me go back to the sketch body then. Yeah, it's not letting me move it. You son of a gun. So we're going to do hacky thing again. Yeah, so see, hacky, but it works. All right. So we're going to get the same issue here. No, we shouldn't. Okay, we'll try it at 1. Yeah, I probably was going a little dangerous getting so close to these. Knew I was playing with fire. Boy, it really does not like that, does it? So it just doesn't like exact ones. But it's fine with 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. All right. Yet again, it's art. So, oh yeah, you see. So it looks like it's not exactly 100% all even, but as I said, this isn't a part we're milling. It's nothing. This is just it's a model. It's for cosplay. It's purely appearance wise. We're not trying to have something absolutely perfect. All right, so there's the handle. I hid that one piece there. Let's name this. So we'll let's call this what, grip. Add that to component list. This will be I don't know, top pad, middle pad, and bottom pad. Add that to the grip body. We'll do the same thing here. So it'd be top finger pad, bottom finger pad. Throw that in component 2. This just makes it easier to keep them organized, and then we can hide and them real quick. So what else we got? We still got the little divots. Do the little divots real super quick. Actually, those probably being something that would have worked well with emboss, but I really do just want to round them over. So what was I going to do? Yeah, do a revolve. So we'll hide this body real quick, grab the sketch back, and we'll just revolve all these. Okay, we want 180. All right, and okay, revolve, revolve. Yep, and oh, lose my sight here. I apologize if anybody gets a little motion sick with this. I'm using a space mouse. It makes it a lot easier to move around in. Oh yeah, forgot I made a component. Okay, bring that to the surface, and then we will just cut those out. Okay, there we go. So that should look really nice because it's yeah, 1 millimeter. So it should cut out really nice with the print. It'll be just a little divot. And if somebody wants to weather it real quick, it'll catch weathering real nice. What do we do with the trigger? Did that get hidden? Yeah, there it is. Let's name that real quick, and we'll add that to the grip component. All right. Oh, we didn't get that appearance. Let me just grab an appearance. That one too. Yeah, I'll duplicate this, and I'll go more of a tan appearance. Oh boy, that's real old school there, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't work off screen very well. Can I work from a canvas? Or if it can pull from the canvas. Okay, that works. Let's give it a little lighter. There we go. That should look nice. All right. So what on to next? Let's get the front working. Whenever you're moving something you're just using for a quick reference, make sure you hit remove, not delete. Delete removes it from the timeline, and that's really super messy. All right, so what this is 1.7 meters. We'll just round that over that much so that it meets with the body. Actually, looking at this source, we'll just do 1. Yeah, that'll look like what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, I'll just make that 1. All right, so we got to figure out the angle for this. So it will meet at there, and it will round over there. So just do a chamfer. Use that for reference. So we need to. Oh, you know what? I should measure this real quick. It's that one. That's the thing, is you always want to make sure that you, if a chamfer or whatever is going to meet a wall, make sure you measure it ahead of time. Because, I mean, unless I don't something I don't know about, there's no easy way to say, hey, chamfer right to this point. Like, it doesn't work. Like, I can't select this. It'd be nice if I could, but it doesn't let me. So measuring it first helps. So that's interesting. It's a little off. You know why? It's because I was trying to look from an image from somewhere else, so that screwed it up. So let's fix it. So make this make that 4. It's probably because I was working reversed. All right, yeah. So I raised them all because they're all referenced to each other. And do 13 on that one, and let's get so that line matches up. There we go. So it should look pretty good. Round this out so it looks nice. I'll just make it 3. Is 3 enough for that? Yeah, 3 is enough for that. So I'll just make these all 3. And yeah, the front part. Just round that out because that's the chamfer all nice looking for this, because this will be a little more. So 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 looks good. Round that all out. And we'll make this 3 as well, so it's matching those ones. Oh. Got a little close to that line. I might need to extend the barrel out even more. As I said, judgment calls, judgment calls. I mean, this is just because we want it to look good. Yeah, it's probably because the way I drew this with the lens distortion. So I'll make it just a little more further so it still looks okay. So I will make that 3.5. And I'll extend that one 3.5 as well. And then we round it over. That should look pretty good. Okay. Yeah, it still seems like an okay distance for the button with this. Yeah. All right. So between these two parts, we're going to want to put a little bit of so yeah, one should be pretty good for that one. But I think the other one we're going to have to make it 3. Yeah, we'll make this part 3 because it overhangs. It'll be even on both sides then. All right. And these we're going to want to make pretty rounded because on the original model it looks pretty darn rounded. So we'll just use this. Use this as reference for the distance. So 5.2. So 5.22. Oof. So what? 2.556. Oh, you know why? It's going more than the height. That's what it's doing. Whoops. Let's match. We'll just match this height then. So it'd be yeah. All right, that looks pretty good. Ooh. I was not paying attention there. Whoops. So we'll have to move these rings around because the rings are supposed to fit between those. That's why I should have been paying attention to my references. So what we'll do is we'll just yeah, because this is supposed to be exactly even with this, like it's flush with those. So I'll get rid of those, and we'll just move it around, and it'll work. Actually, I need to make these taller. Oh. So why did I round this over? Oh, you know why? Because it wasn't joined. Those aren't merged. Whoops. Let me fix that. So I'll just delete that. Delete this one too. Alright. So that must be a separate body. Yep, it is. Okay. It's a problem about working in separate bodies. Alright. So we're doing 3s for all those. And then 3s for both of these. Alright, so now it looks good. Alright, so want that to be even. Let's get these rings back. Alright, so select 3 rings. Alright. So now I'm a little worried that I don't have this perfect. So I might have to modify these a little bit. So let's just make sure that the ends of these meet this, because I kind of messed it up. And of course we're going to build some tolerances in, but I did mess that up when I was sketching. That was me rushing. Alright, so there we go. And oh, I did forget another important detail. This isn't supposed to be here. So, can we just get rid of the rings again? And choop. That's supposed to be empty. And we'll just round that off. Okay. Because that's for the spinning ring, because the ring's supposed to free spin in there. Okay. So just for sanity's sake, let's throw some colors so it's easier to work with. So we kind of want a sky blue. So let's see if I can pull from there. It does not like pulling from a canvas. Let's try this. Yeah, it works. All right. Oh shoot, did that get combined? Whoops. Easy fix. Easy fix. All right. Oh. Forgot one. All right, and let's round these over based on this. Holy cow! See, this front image is pretty messed up too, where it doesn't it doesn't think they should be hanging over that much. Oh my goodness gracious! I do not like lens distortions. If you look at the source image, it does hang over that much. Here, let's get a low. Yeah, so it hangs over a good amount. So that's how it should be looking. But I mostly did it for this reference here, so I can cut these out pretty nicely. Okay. So that looks good. And all right, so let's combine the bodies real quick. Or actually, before I do that, I gotta get this button off. So I accidentally did that. Split body, use that. All right, Let's save the button so I don't lose it again. All right, so just combine all three of those. All right. Okay, so just let's do 2 on these. I won't do that side just yet. Wait until I get that. But 2 looks really nice. All right, so we'll just combine those as well. Make sure that, ugh, we got the double face thing. So that's not good. And we can do messy things like try delete. Nope, that didn't work. Sometimes delete works, sometimes it doesn't. The other thing we can do is you can extrude it and then cut it. Because sometimes, I mean, you'll reference the same exact height, and still Fusion will refuse to do it right. Actually, before I do that, let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone on it. I'll just extrude this one out as well, and then we'll that, and because we want a single face, because believe me, working with single faces, yeah, there we go. Working with single faces is so much easier. And here, let's split the body real quick because we don't want to confuse ourselves. Why there's these 2. Remove. All right. So we got that, and let's a little fuse there. So it's on the source model too. Okay, there we go. Because that'll be a little round over area too for where the rings spin. All right, you know, the one thing I've been forgetting for a while now is the little cutout here. I should get the cutout real quick. Change frame of reference. Boom. And okay. So that should looks pretty good, I think. Oh. Oh, not extrude. All right, so give this a very, very mild. So I don't want a lot because the actual model doesn't have a lot. But honestly, fillets print better overall. So the more you can add, honestly, the more the better. I mean, it always seems funny saying it like that, but it really does help prints just look cleaner. Uh, yeah, I'll just do 1 on that. Or, yeah, try 1.5. Okay. So that should look pretty good. All right, so let's pull out the rings so we get an idea what they look like. Should probably let's get rid of the canvases for now. Get rid of the sketch so we know what we're working with. Okay. Let's grab black rubber. I know there's a rubber in here. Hmm. Could have swore I had a rubber before. Probably. I spelled it wrong or something, did I? No. Oh well, we'll just do black plastic of some sort. Just for appearance when you get down to it. May have been thinking glass. I mean, I'm sorry, not glass. I mean, fabric. Because I was using that for something else on another project. So we'll just grab like a random nylon or something. Yeah, textured. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And okay, let's line up with the canvas real quick. Oh, it's more of a chafer, isn't it? So, oh, I want to get the measurements from this line to this line. So we'll just make it 3. That should look good. We'll just give it a quick round over so it feels nice. All right. And then each one of these rings, we'll just give them, 1? Sounds good. Canvas. 1. Let's try 0.5. Yeah. This is more of a spacer ring than anything. Alright. So that you'll probably print that at silver or something. Alright, so then we got this. And this canvas again. All right. So let's add a divot real quick. Show you how to do divots, if you, in case you never knew how to do that one. All right. So project this so we have an idea, because we're just guessing at this point. Given the sketch, so it's roughly 2.5. We'll just call it 2.5. So 2.5. 2.5. And I don't know, just give the height something like, just make it 1 meter. See, this that's why I like using extends. I get weird, unpredictable results with everything else. Oh, nope, that extends it too much. Okay. So. I probably already use them, but it's useful. All right, so there we got that, and we will round this by 1. All right, so we got this. We will do a revolve over the center axis of that sketch. New body. We'll do 360. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to do a circular pattern. And we'll use, let me get rid of these bodies so we don't have any confusion. Oh, what did I do? Oh, you know what I did? I only did chamfer on one side. Didn't I? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It's getting late. I'm gonna probably stop soon. Yeah, that's what I did. Alright, so the easy way to fix, actually I might be able to just, actually might be able to do this. The magic of history might work. The timeline, I mean. Let's try it. So we'll edit here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Since we used references. Nah, sketch didn't work out. Oh well. It was worth trying. Alright, so add that reference to add that on. And there we go. Alright, so new sketch again. Reference. How far do we do it? Like 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. All right, do that. And okay, 1 up, over, 1 up, extend. So then we fixed it. Okay, revolve it over the center axis, 360 degrees, new body. Let's try this again. We don't want these. Get rid of these. And circular pattern using this object across the axis. Now, nice thing is you can select the circle. So I do select our body. And now we do this. So now we only want it partial. So that'll save us a little issue. So and let's match up to the image. So what I do is I just go until it looks like pretty good for the image. So it looks good, but honestly, they don't. You know, didn't measure that very well, did I? It should be a little thicker. But it is the correct amount. So maybe push pull will work. Hey, well, you know. That doesn't fix them all. So let's edit the sketch. And we will change this height to let's make it 2. Nope, that didn't work. Make it 2. Doesn't work. Sometimes doing sketches doesn't work. Let's see if we get rid of that reference. We make this one. No. Okay, we'll just get rid of those and we'll just try modifying this ourselves. Yeah, see, it's freaking out about the rounded corners. Alright, so I'll just get rid of those. There we go. All right, so yeah, it looks roughly right. Looks like it actually might be a smidge bigger, huh? So I could have drew this in probably a better way. Let me just undo this stuff. All right. Five. .5. All right, yeah. Go through your dials and they work. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's combine them. All right. Uh-oh. I rotate on the wrong side. Oh well, so what we'll do is we'll just split this body. Get rid of that body. And we'll just mirror it. There we go. All right, so now I got the grips on the dials. Actually, looking at it from another picture, I think I went a little too high on them. Shoot. Yeah, the two might have actually been good. I'm sorry. You know what it is? I think they're slightly up. Yeah. You know, I think I know what it is. So, yeah. So we'll have to play with it a little bit because I'm looking at the reference and they're wide but they're flat. So we're gonna have to scale it. So we'll make it 2.5 wide, and then we will squish the scale. So let's modify the scale of it. Oh, here's one thing with scale. Finding a center point. It tends to go by an edge. So I forgot you gotta redefine a point. So with cylinders and well pill capsule shapes like this, it will have a point at the ends here. So that makes it really nice when you need to do a non-uniform scale like this. So we'll just do that. So it looks better. Yeah, so that should look good. Just going to delete that because I'll just redo it again. All right, so we'll just do the circular pattern again to the axis. Partial negative 180. Is it 13? I think 13 was what it was, wasn't it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, so that definitely looks better from what the source is. It's just the thickness was throwing me off a lot. Okay, combine all of them again. Oh, I want to do that. So I'm going to have to lower that probably. All right, so I can still spin. All right, I'm going to call it for tonight, and I will save this, and I will come back.